What did you have before this?
Lsat Tutoring.
You were getting tutored, to be clear.
No.
Oh, no, that's right. You already took it. You're tutoring someone.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty quick.
Well, just a friend. Well, actually, a friend of a friend, who I guess now is a friend. And she heard my score and was like, please, I want help. And I was like, deal. But I do hope to, like, tutor LSAT in the summer for, like, some extra coin.
What are you, like $300 an hour? Right.
I don't know. I'm really hoping to go through like some like service that will decide all that for me, because I think the truth is like okay, I do hate the cost restriction on LSAT stuff, right? Like first off, the test is stupid expensive, and I guess you might be able to get a waiver for it. I don't know how stingy
How much is the test?
200.
You don't have to pay to take a test.
Yeah,
like
you have to pay for the chance to get a score.
Yeah.
And then you use that score for a chance to get into a good law school, which is a chance to get a
which you also have
job.
to pay for, right? You have to pay an application fee.
Yeah.
You're paying for a chance to pay for something else.
Exactly.
It's like I always refer to airports as just lines waiting to get to the next line. Like, you're always excited. I got to get through this. I got to check my bag. Why? So I can go wait in another line, get through,
Yeah. Hurry up.
Security. Yeah, so I can get through another line. It's the same things. Great.
But I mean, yeah. Anyway, all that to say, I got to go through a service where they just tell me the rates, because otherwise I would super shortchange myself. I would always be worried about like the person's like socioeconomic situation and be like, no, you can pay me like $5 an hour. If that's all you got, like that's all I can take. What do you mean? I want to help. So
it's like, I have a $5 bill. That's fine.
Yeah. Honestly, I just feel like, look, I'm happy to help. Like I'm getting to a good law school. That'll be, or get a good score even. That'll be my reward. But that doesn't keep the electricity on, does it?
You have a full-time job.
Yeah. Well, that only exacerbates said issue, right? Because I would be like, well, I'm already getting a paycheck and I don't have to work right now. So
this is the Experience Podcast with me and someone else.
Buffalo Nathan. Are we going to start with it? Can we rip it? Can we rip the Band-Aid off?
Sure, rip the Band-Aid off. Well, okay, yeah, go ahead.
Well, actually, no. Here's how we have to rip it off. This is not good podcasting, but give me a sec. I have started a 5-minute timer. Okay. Here are my thoughts. If you look at the all 22, the 10 blockers on the kick ran it like a squib. Squib kick was the call, and somehow Tyler Bass didn't get the call.
Or maybe he forgot.
Or yeah, I don't know what it was. But if you look at the blockers,
was like, no.
If you look at the blockers, they were expecting a squib kick.
Oh.
Second. So that's one piece of miscommunication, right? Second, on the second play to Kelsey, we were rushing 4. Why were we rushing 4? Again, I don't know what's going on. I don't think that was a bad call. There has to be some sort of like panic miscommunication stuff going on. I don't know what the, chain of command, like issue ordinance process was there, but there is a complete breakdown. I've determined because of, and again, I don't know what was going on. Not to say that was like the thing, but this makes no sense. Like I'm seeing all this stuff. It was awful. I can't believe it still.
Okay. You got like probably like 4 more minutes. There's nothing else to.
Well, I didn't know if you were going to say anything. Josh Allen's a dog. I love this team.
trying to give you the floor, timer.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, well. Okay, I guess this counts, though it could kind of be a separate thing. I don't miss Dable. I think his play calling was like good enough. And I guess every fan is going to demand like perfection, and also we don't even know what that is because we don't know the chain of events when things wouldn't have happened. But okay, you remember the 4th and 13 touchdown where Davis put Snead on skates and was wide open in the end zone?
Yeah.
Okay, so before that fourth down, on like the first down before it, we converted another fourth. And I looked at my brother and I was like, we should just run the ball up the middle, do a halfback dive, everyone can take a breath. And we didn't do that. He threw like a really risky pass that almost got picked off. And I was like, what are we doing? And then on second down, we ran the halfback dive and it didn't work. And it was like, oh, this is so out of order. And that's how we got in like such a bad spot for that 4th and 13 anyway. So, I mean, and let's be real, talking about play calling, that wasn't like good play calling. Like Gabe Davis was just having the day of his life and, knocked the ankles off that dude. So he was wide open. If that CB like doesn't fall down, I don't know if it all happens like that. So anyway, overall though, I think well called game. I think our defense could get better, which is hard to say because that was our strong suit for so long, and McDermott's our head coach. But yeah, I mean, not having Trey was kind of felt. I don't know why we played umbrella defense again to go to the last 13 seconds. I don't know why we played umbrella defense when they had 2 timeouts in 13 seconds. They can still throw it in the middle. Just so sad. I feel like, even though we didn't squib, like the defense just had like a meltdown. I know the Chiefs are the Chiefs, but like, you can't do that. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah. I don't have any comments.
It was sad.
Yeah,
how was the aura over there? Was it noticeable?
They're loving it.
What?
Oh, I mixed it up. The aura here. Yeah. Bit rough. I think people are generally satisfied though with the season. Like it's hard to get upset vehemently about that game, right? Just because it was such a back and forth thing. And you feel confident in the future of the game or of the team.
If we had beaten the Jags, that would have been a home game. I think it's messed up that we had to play the Chiefs not in the AFC Championship. Like I understand how seeding works and all that, but it just feels bad, man. Because like you can't even write the season down as like we went to the AFC Championship game, which honestly is like, no, I don't want to get too cocky. We should be going to conference championship games. All right, the Bengals though.
Yeah, Bengals. We could talk about Bengals first.
I'm rooting for him. I love that team. I lived in Cincy for a while, so that's fun.
They're kind of fun to root for.
Well, I feel like this hasn't happened in quite a few years, but I think it'd be a huge win for like fans everywhere. Hey, you can go 4-12 and win the Super Bowl the next season. Isn't that fucking crazy? You can win
6 games in 2 years and win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Jesus.
They're bad 2 years in a row, right? And like obviously last year they had the Burrow injury. Duke Tobin, just a shout out to Duke Tobin, who isn't technically the GM. He's like the director of player personnel for the Bengals, but he basically serves as like the personnel guy for the team since they don't really have a GM. I guess it's the owner, Mike Brown, but we don't know. But anyway, Duke Tobin is like the main guy. Like just putting together like a team of a lot of free agents. Like half their starters on defense were free agents, right? And then the Chase pick, and then piecing together everything else was a.
And how everyone's playing together. Like, my brother and I have a running joke to like make fun of Eli Apple because he's so bad, but he's been playing well this year.
Yeah, he's been fine for them.
Enough. Who's the other secondary guy? Bates.
Well, Jesse Bates is their safety, who hasn't been great this year. He's been in the past he's been amazing, but this year he hasn't been great. But he's been good in the postseason. Mike Hilton is their slot guy. He's been great for them.
I feel like the Bengals defense is doing the thing that we talked about like a year ago, where it's like, with the way NFL offenses are now, do you need to have like a shutdown defense all the time? Is that sustainable? Or like, is it okay if your defense, isn't always the best, but they make big plays often enough to like create turnovers and like, get sacks at big times and all that? And I mean, that's exactly what they're doing, right?
Their defense is kind of, they don't have as many stars. I mean, but they play well together and they're well coached. And I don't even know if
I'm just saying like, I don't think they're like consistently good, but I think they have
I'm saying they're consistently good, but never great or terrible.
Yeah. I feel like their variance is high, but like in a good way that you need, because
I was saying their variance is low.
No, don't they make some big plays?
I mean, not really. I can pull it up.
Well, anyway, it's working. Rams are a good team. No matter what, it's going to be like a feel good or it sucks because of Matthew Stafford. Like, just, as an NFL fan, it'd be cool that his first year out of Detroit, he like wins the Super Bowl. And then also like McVay finally gets the payoff for like loaning out his first round picks every fucking year.
Is it McVay or Snead? Probably less Snead. Maybe both. Anyway, the Bengals.
They must have some hand in that, right? Like, whoever the GM is like, hey, do you want Brandon Cooks more than a first round pick? Like, is that good for your offense?
Yeah, no, obviously they're going to. The Bengals are right in the middle of the pack in total takeaways.
All right.
They're like perfectly fine. They're like good enough. They're like the example of the low variance defense where like they rarely get burned, but they're just like they just pass well enough and they have enough very good guys. They have a couple stars, like again, Jesse Bates has been good in the past, but
because if you're looking at season stats, right? Here's the thing. I don't care how your defense plays against like the Texans or the Dolphins.
Well, they get a large enough sample size. Look at
you can't. There's only 16 games.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Obviously. Okay. Yeah. The sample size is gonna, but shrinking it down to 2 games.
To counterexample and bring it back. If you look at the Bills' defensive numbers over the season, it's like, oh, they're so good and stuff, right? But they yammed on the Dolphins and the Texans. Those games were like 35-0, 40-0, but
defense inherently is more inconsistent than offense, at least in today's NFL.
But how do you play against the good teams? Is your performance going to change significantly when you play against top offenses? And that's, I guess, to your points, but kind of like in a different way. Kind of saying the same thing in different ways, sneakily. But the Bengals defense doesn't change much if they're playing against like the Chiefs. You still kind of like are getting.
And if you look at the Chiefs game, they didn't make a ton of big plays. They just
until the second half
playing well. They didn't really make big plays. They just played well consistently.
They got some sacks at really good times. You're right.
They got a couple sacks. Yeah, they got like a couple sacks. But
that Hubbard sack at the end. Sheesh, that man was flying.
Yeah. No, obviously that's a big play, but in general as well. Anyway, the Rams kind of the opposite.
Interception in overtime.
Oh yeah, good. It was a good play. But anyway, the Rams, the opposite kind of deal, where they have a few big stars, big names, and then some mid-round picks. Although they've done a great job drafting in the middle round and late rounds in the past few years.
The Rams defense is, in my eyes, truly like a basketball team. How the NBA works now. You get big stars, and then you get into the playoffs. It doesn't matter if you're the 1 seed or if you're the 4th seed or what your numbers are over the season. None of that matters. Once you get to the playoffs, are you going to show up and are you going to play big?
Yeah, and they've drafted a lot of, like I said, like good players in the middle rounds. Especially in the past few years. Nick Scott played really well. He's played really well the past couple of weeks, filling in for Jordan Fuller, who's another guy they drafted at the end of the draft. And then we don't need big stars that they've traded for or signed or just had the whole time right now.
How awesome must it be to play D-line across from, or sorry, like not across, but on this, anywhere on the line with Aaron Donald? Just your job becomes so much easier immediately.
Well, we've seen guys get big contracts after playing next to Aaron Donald.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a thing.
I know. I'm just saying. Must be nice. Von Miller.
Pays out well.
Mm-hmm.
Von Miller's not going to look for a huge contract next year. Maybe he will.
Yeah, but he's getting to play more like how he wants to play that he didn't have a chance to in Denver because, well, I guess they had
they Bradley Chubb.
Yeah.
Never had a good defense. It was I guess. Anyway, yeah, that's kind of the matchup that I think everyone's going to be looking for is like the interior pressure from the Rams against the Bengals offensive line, which is not good. Like they've, I guess, been good enough to this point, but if Jackson Carman has to start, I think
9 sacks allowed against the Titans, and they still won.
Yeah.
Because they can't do that again, and it's going to be harder.
Probably, yeah. Not probably, definitely.
So do you care, or are you just being a league guy?
I think they both have like fun reasons to root for each of the teams.
You really should go into sports journalism. Your commitment to not having an opinion is admirable.
Well, it's like you look at the Bengals and they're like the underdog team and that sort of stuff. But then like the Rams, it's fun to root for because like the unique team building and like I guess the Stafford of it all, right? Yeah. Even
I
Sean
agree.
McVay's
And
has
I'm
never
rooting
won.
for the Bengals 1,000%, just because I think that'd be awesome. I won't feel bad if the Rams win. It'll still be cool because of what you're saying, but I'm here to pick sides, you know?
Ah, okay. I'm upset at the Bengals because they kept running on first down unsuccessfully against the Chiefs for last week.
Oh, yeah, throwback. Do you remember, and I agreed to it on this podcast, do you remember what I did for the last Super Bowl regarding running?
Yeah, we talked about the exact same thing with the Buccaneers.
Yeah, but I think that's a little different.
I think it's very similar. They both were inexplicably running too much.
Yeah, but actually, it is more
kind of the
similar
same
than
thing.
I acknowledged now that you bring it up.
kind of-
But I don't know. Like the Bengals offense has stayed like balanced all season, right? Like the Bucks the past 2 years like led the league in like pass attempts and pass percentage.
They've been very high in passing over expected, yeah. But the Bengals, like, again, I'm not like against running. I'm against like doing the least efficient thing possible. And like the Joe Mixon 1 yard runs on first down were just like Just give up first down. Like just basically
Yeah.
start on second down if you're gonna do that. Like it wasn't useful. It never worked. And like if we have enough data, we know you don't need to use it to set up play action. Like it's
If there was like a rule where like both teams could, well, I guess you wouldn't. If you're on defense and you could agree to just start at 2nd and 9, like you give them a yard, but it's second down, would they take that every time?
would who take it? The defense or the offense?
Defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's mathematically better than 1st and 10 for the defense.
Yeah.
Like win probability wise. Or however you want. I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but like your expected points lower when you go from 1st and 10 to 2nd and 9. You basically have to get to 2nd and 5 to be worth it, right?
Yeah.
That's just how the numbers work out. So
we'll see if I'm wrong about Zach Taylor also though, because somehow throughout all this, I know I'm rooting for him and stuff, but I still don't believe that Zach.
Yeah, is Zach Taylor good? I don't think anyone still knows. I don't think
so. I don't think so.
Anyone knows. And I maybe I shouldn't, but I'm kind of pinning the running first down stuff on him. In a way, it almost feels like they've been winning in spite of him, or like with him, but not because of him at least. Like he's been there, Like he's almost Jason Garretting his way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
it's just like I'm on the team. I mean, again, we don't know the behind the scenes or anything else that he does, and I'm sure he's a nice guy, but it's hard to know how much credit, especially for a guy, again, that won 6 games in the last couple of years. Under tough circumstances.
At the very least, though, it's probably nice to have like the continuity, right?
Yeah. It's also a Zach Taylor revenge game, too, so yeah.
He was in the Rams?
He was McVay's quarterback coach.
Oh yeah, and that's because he had a cup of coffee with McVay, so they signed him. Yeah. Forgot. It was that era of the NFL. Damn.
He was like the pinnacle of like he has not a lot of experience, but he knows Sean McVay. Because he was never a coordinator.
Yeah. All right, well, since we're talking about coaches, you want to talk about coaches?
Okay, Sean McVay. Okay, I already criticized Zach Taylor, so I have to criticize McVay here.
Oh no, I was talking about like off-season stuff.
Oh, well, okay. Let me just mention Sean McVay. Figure out how to use timeouts and challenges and that sort of. He's like the worst coach in the league.
Nope.
There's some stat I found somewhere in terms of unnecessary timeouts, like clock winding down.
It's not Andy Reid.
No, in terms of like timeouts used for like by unnecessary timeouts, I mean like the clock's winding down. You don't want to delay a game. Not like Andy Reid is different. Like Andy Reid doesn't do it as much. He just doesn't time the timeouts right. Right? If that makes sense.
Yeah, McVay's. You know what it is? Probably there's so much in the playbook. It probably takes McVay too long to call the play.
He's just reading off a paragraph.
Yeah, exactly. He's like reading a short story between every.
That's Stafford's like, hurry up. We ran out of time. You never even finished the play call. We had 40 seconds. You couldn't get it in. All right, new coaches. I got to pull up a list because I'm forgetting. So go ahead and start with, I guess the most recent hire is Doug Peterson.
Yeah, Dougie P. So does that mean Byron Leftwich like isn't gonna be a head coach anywhere? I guess so.
Well, he could. There's still 3 openings?
Yeah.
Saints, Dolphins, Texans.
Yeah. Oh God. Dolphins, the Flores thing. Holy shit.
Okay, I mean the Flores thing. I don't know how much you want to talk about it because that could be a whole podcast series.
Yeah, I don't know if I know enough, but I don't know if we're at a weird like crux points where if there's like evidence to substantiate the like paying to lose games thing, like that it's going to cause
The lose
ripples.
games thing is kind of unfortunately the thing that might push the league to do something, like with
Yeah.
this lawsuit.
But that's messed
But
up.
obviously, the most messed up part is just the systemic racism that has perpetuated the league. That again, everyone knew about, right? Like this is like kind of an open secret.
Yeah,
But
I
it
mean,
took basically Brian Flores risking his career, so say it, to remind everyone.
yeah, I mean the Rooney Rule thing had like the right spirit, I guess, but it, obviously did it like it's just checking a box, which doesn't do anything.
Yeah, there's this. I mean, so he offers in his lawsuit, he offers like what he wants to see change, and it's just more incentives. And I think the biggest thing that would help them, that would help minority candidates, is just getting them started on the ground, like as assistant coaches and stuff like that. Um, that's kind of where you need to see a little more change because
Yeah.
there's plenty of black candidates that just haven't gotten their chance. Anyway,
So Byron
I think the
Leftwich?
good. Well, I was gonna say the good thing is there's a lot of black GMs that have just gotten hired, so that could be the start.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, so Byron Leftwich. So yeah, like he chose to, or we don't know the specifics, but he decided not to pursue, I guess, the Jaguars position due to Trent Baalke.
Oh
Did
yeah,
he
I don't even know much about that guy, but everyone
Basically,
hates him
if you
apparently.
remember, he's the guy from San Francisco from the Jim Harbaugh thing. That's basically he is part of the reason for the Jim Harbaugh fallout in San Francisco, and is notoriously difficult to work with. So, for somewhat, uh, just what's the word, like legitimate reasons, Byron Leftwich was pessimistic, or not, was hesitant to take the job. He wanted Adrian Wilson, who's the former safety for the
Hmm.
Cardinals, who works in the personnel department for, I believe, the Cardinals, right? Double check that. But he wanted him to be his GM.
Yeah.
And again, reportedly, the Jaguars were a little hesitant to hire a new, like a first-time GM and head coach at the same time.
Yeah.
And not to get into the ethnicity of it all, but that's apparently they decided to back out, and they kind of accidental their way into Doug Peterson. Although, like again, in a vacuum, that could be a good hire for them.
No, I actually think it's great.
Successful,
Like with having Trevor Lawrence, I
and
can
he's
just
been
see.
successful in the past, very recently.
Yeah, I can see Doug Peterson like actually turning that into something, and I think he's a
Like
good
Andy
guy to
reading
give
his
it a
way
shot.
into,
Yeah.
like Andy reading his way into a decent job, which is again very ironic because he was removed from the position from.
Yeah.
Um,
Nagy
let's see. So
never getting a job
Nagy's
again.
out. Is he what?
Is Nagy getting a job again?
Yeah, he's white. No, no. But maybe that's a bad joke.
Well, I mean, to like maybe better phrase your point, like the issue we've been talking about is like it is this weird like old boys club. Like fucking Gase had a job for however long.
Gaze, at the time of this
So,
recording, is potentially in the running for offensive coordinator for the Patriots.
oh yeah, which that's
But
wild to
like
me.
when Dan Quinn, who like was clearly not, ran out of steam in Atlanta, goes 1 year for the Cowboys, has a super like turnover fueled good year, right, for the Cowboys, and now he had like what 6 interviews
Yeah.
when you have plenty of other guys, Vance Joseph, Todd Bowles, never got a chance again, guys like that.
Um.
Uh,
Okay. Here's a name to throw out there. I still like Vic Fangio.
He
I guess it made sense for the Broncos to part ways with him, but I don't know. I think he can do good stuff somewhere.
he would be a very good defensive coordinator somewhere.
Yeah, and he always was, but I don't know. I still think
But I mean, like he's probably a better defensive coordinator than head coach.
certainly I think almost everybody is going to be a better coordinator than coach just because it's to do.
Sure, but like I don't even think he would be. I mean, I haven't talked to Fangio, but I think he'd be perfectly happy just being like, I'll be a defensive coordinator for like 10 more years, and I'll retire, and
Maybe.
do whatever. He's old. Like he's not like this young.
Yeah,
That's
that's
He's been
true.
around forever. He's 63. Like
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like Broncos defense played like decently well. He is good at drafting defense, and I mean, if you look at that division, I mean, the Broncos were just stunted by not having a quarterback like the other teams in that division. So I don't know. I feel like that held the team back more than Vic Fangio.
does Nathaniel Hackett bring over Aaron Rodgers?
I mean, I think that because of what I just said, I think that'd be awesome. Rodgers, Mahomes,
And
Herbert,
Adam
and
and
Carr
Devontae Adams.
in the same division. Yeah, I mean, why not? Let them go all out.
I
But
think it's unlikely, but it's possible. Okay. What about Josh McDaniels? He's going to the Raiders. He failed very miserably
yes, thank you for
in
reminding me to bring back up that take. If
in
the
Denver.
Raiders had signed the guy, then they would have won. Then who knows? Maybe they'd be in the Super Bowl.
Wait, what are you saying?
Okay, I don't know if you remember last time I was on. I was
Refresh
like, if the Raiders hire Basikia for getting them to the playoffs and give him like the coaching job for the next year, that's gonna like rally up the boys and they'll get a playoff win guaranteed. That was my take. And they didn't do that and they lost. And now the Bengals are in the Super Bowl. And that Raiders Bengals game was not like a blowout decisive, right? Like the Bengals
All the
kinda just
Bengals
won.
playoff games have not been blowouts. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I'm just saying,
They-
you
Raiders-
get a little more juice in that locker room. Who knows?
Like Josh McDaniels was not good as a head coach last time. It's been like over 10 years since then. Maybe he's gotten better, but I think he'd
Yeah,
probably be better than Rick Bisaccia.
I don't know. I think he's gonna do the classic like Belichick, like trainee thing where he tries to go like Belichick mode day one on everybody, and they're
I
like,
think he's learned not to do that though. Like that's what he did last time, and it didn't work.
I don't know.
Like, isn't the point of the new position? Well, first of all, he may not even
What else
play
does
at
he
all,
know
or
though?
coach at all. He may not even coach at all for the Broncos. There's a chance that he just comes back to the Patriots.
Wait, who are we talking about?
McDaniels.
Isn't he with the Raiders?
Yeah, I'm saying there's a chance he just doesn't coach for them at all.
Oh,
And he goes back to the Patriots.
no, I think this is a little different
Colts
than the
joke.
Colts thing. He's taken
No,
the
he
job
was-
at this point.
Yeah, he did that for the Colts. He had a staff.
Whoa, I didn't know it was that severe.
Some of the coaches for the Colts were like right now were McDaniels guys.
Yeah,
Like they got hired by McDaniels and then they just stayed on with Wright because I guess I think Eberflus was a McDaniels guy. And he just stayed as the defensive coordinator with Wright.
that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm reading here. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was.
Dang, I didn't realize it was like that.
Yeah, not all of his staff stayed on, but like McDaniels was ready to go. Like he was. Anyway, so could change. Like McDaniels had made it farther for the Colts than he has for the Raiders so far. Is all I'm saying. I don't think he's gonna back out again. Like then he definitely never coached again. Well, we can go through. What am I missing? Rich Bisaccia, Kevin O'Connell. Any interest there?
Oh yeah, who is that?
Not technically officially hired. So if you remember, he was drafted to be Tom Brady's backup in 2008.
If I
Which
remember.
tells
Yeah,
you how
I
young
was
he
just saying
is.
I don't remember that.
He's been around. He's kind of been a McVay guy. He was the Washington. I guess I can say. Well, they weren't the Commanders at the time, but they are now. He commanded the Washington offense. I'll say that for a year, for I guess a couple of years. Kind of in the post Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur era. Right? He kind of was like that's when he got hired to be, or around the time. I think there was like 1 year of overlap, and then he stayed on for Washington as like the quarterbacks coach, passing corner, offensive coordinator, and then for the past couple of years he's been the offensive coordinator for the Rams. From what I understand, he does a lot of like the game plan stuff like that. Obviously, McVay calls the plays during the game, but O'Connell has been fairly involved in the Rams offense. So that's who
I mean,
Kevin
I'm always down for new blood. I'll say that. So
it's another Sean McVay guy. Is all you need to know. The long diatribe I just went on was really just to say he's a Sean McVay guy. Giants and
it's working great for the Bengals. So why not?
It's working great for everyone that's hired a Sean McVay guy.
Well,
Packers.
I mean, it wasn't until
Packers
for Zach Taylor.
Okay, yeah, but the Packers hire. Who else? I mean, if you count Kingsbury, he's done fairly well, I guess. He's not really. Funny thing is, Kingsbury isn't a Sean McVay guy. It's the Cardinals pushed that in the press conference. They were like, he knows Sean McVay. Like, it's okay, Giants, Brian Dable. Again, we already kind of talked about it a little, but I think that's probably the best hire for Daniel Jones.
Wait, say that again?
Brian Dable for the Giants. Probably best
yeah.
hire
I think
for
they're
Daniel
going to try
Jones.
to like replicate the Josh Allen thing with.
But they're 2 years late. They're 3 years late, I guess.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's going to work. But I think part of the hiring decision was like, oh, Daniel Jones could be like Josh Allen. Let's hire that guy. But
He's tall and he's a big guy.
big, runs, and is a little goofy and like falls.
He runs
before the end zone.
differently. Yeah, he runs differently. Daniel Jones is more of like a speed guy. Allen's more of like a bulldozer. But maybe.
We'll see.
Did they pick up his third-year option or fifth-year option?
I don't know. Wait, who?
Jones.
I don't know. We're already there?
Yeah, he's played 3 years.
Oh, so you have to choose now?
Yeah, basically.
Man, that's crazy.
I guess
I thought you had more time. I thought we were just talking about picking up Bakers.
No, they already picked that up. They picked that up like last year.
Damn, time. Crazy.
I think they will. If I had to, if you're making me choose right now, I think they will. Just because they got a new coach, so they're kind of going to reset the clock. If they kept Joe Judge, they would not have.
I think.
But they almost kept Joe Judge.
Well, yeah, that would have been asinine.
Joe Judge is like the pinnacle of what Flores is trying to point out. Well, they were probably friends at one point. They worked for the Patriots for a number of years together. Okay, so that's the Giants. Who else am I missing? Broncos. Broncos, Nathaniel Hackett. I don't know if we talked about that.
When we talked about the Broncos, bringing Aaron Rodgers over.
Yeah.
I think that's good for them to worry about offense. They need a quarterback. And they have some pieces. I feel like he can do something there. I feel like they're kind of using Vic Fangio, making the defense good, and saying like, well, got that squared away, and now they need to fix the offense. Or make it competitive in that division, which is hard. But
they hired the Packers tight end coach, the offense coordinator, and defensive coordinator. It looks like it's still up for grabs. So yeah, it could be good. It's a tough division, like you said. Okay. Chicago Bears, Matt Eberflus, we mentioned him, but has had a solid, kind of what we talked about before. He's kind of had the Bengals defense model, just like solid defense the last few years. This year, Colts got a lot of turnovers, so they did well on that front, but I think this could be an okay hire.
Yeah, and I think they can let someone else worry about like developing Fields.
Yeah, I don't know if they. Oh, that's right. They hired Luke Getsy, the Packers quarterback coach for offensive coordinator. So that's that. Ryan Poles from the Chiefs. Hopefully he can. That's the GM they hired. We can put something together. I think that's all the coaching, and then like I said, the last remaining positions are the Texans, Saints, and Dolphins.
We'll see.
You have any preferences?
I would not want to be in any of those spots.
The Saints should be fine.
Nope. Cap hell.
They're not any worse cap than they were this time last year or the year before, or really the year before that.
And
like they have a lot of restructurable, but they always figure it out. They have a lot of restructurable money. Like they could easily, easy in quotes here for our listeners, easy in quotes. They could easily like knock $40 million off the cap by just restructuring a few things.
And then they still have 33.5 to go.
Okay, I'm just saying like.
I know, I hear what you're saying. Like, it's not like they're not going to have a team. But
they have a cap wizard. They somehow always figure it out, and I trust the front office to do that. If I'm a head coach, like they've shown no reason why they can't figure it out now, and they have again a lot of flexibility in their cap this year, even if it may look worse. What was it last year? They were like over $100 million over the cap, right?
Oh, I didn't think it got that bad. I thought this year was technically worse, but you're right.
No,
it's all fake. It's all fake money anyway.
Yeah, it's not fake money, but yeah, it's fake accounting.
Kind of fake.
It's accounting.
Yeah, there we
go. Do you want to talk about anything else? GMs interest you?
No. Let's. Okay.
Kwesi Adolfo.
No. Fuck this. You have to pick. Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
I could say he's the first analytics guy. Right now the Rams are favored by like 4.5.
No, stop.
And
Daniel, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl?
I think. Oh, I was getting to that. I think that's right. I think the Rams win.
Okay.
A close game.
Could we do a bet?
Bengals are fun to watch, but. Who do I think will win? I think Stafford accidentally his way into a good game. Doesn't Carson Wentz any passes? And
should we do a bet? I get Bengals, you get Rams.
Just straight money line, basically.
Yeah.
Or head to head. Okay, I don't know what we're wagering here.
Me neither. I should have prepped this. Well, I didn't expect you to have an opinion. Or be able to force one out of you.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry. Speaking of bets, somebody owes me money for Cole Beasley having more receptions than Emmanuel Sanders this year. Adjusted for time lost.
It's not me, I don't think.
Mm-mm. They know.
I believe. Huh?
They know.
Yeah, as I'm saying, I believe I know who it is. Did he have more? Well, did either miss time? I guess Cole Beasley did, technically.
No, Sanders missed a few games too. I ran the numbers.
Yeah. Beasley
it wasn't even
miss time for injury, did he?
Huh?
Did Beasley miss time for injury? Did he get hurt? I think he did. Yeah, he did. Then he missed time for other reasons.
Not for as long, but he had way more receptions, which is also cheating because like Sanders had more touchdowns and big plays and may have been more valuable to the offense, but that wasn't.
Honestly, neither was really super valuable to the offense.
Sanders had that streak towards like the early middle part of the season where he had like He had like 5 touchdowns in 4 weeks or something stupid.
Sure, but you know,
So
I'm not saying they weren't useless, but I'm just saying like they were probably not the second. Neither was the second best wide receiver, right?
probably. Gabe Davis didn't do anything until the last 4 weeks in the playoffs.
Gabriel Davis is strange to me. He has like over the past couple of years, I guess it's like he's like a primetime guy. He's like
Yeah.
he'll just show out for these huge games. I'm like, man, they got Gabriel Davis. Like they're they should be good. I mean, but they haven't really developed him fully over the last couple of years. I don't know what the reason is that, or like they don't seem to trust him as much earlier in the season.
I don't know if it's that. I think it's just like there's a lot of mouths to feed on the offense.
Well,
They have a lot of good wide receivers.
I think the first few games he played like fewer than 10 snaps in each of the games. Like they just didn't play him.
Yeah, I don't know. They were doing the healthy scratch thing with Moss on and off as well. I don't know. Too much detail.
Also, Isaiah McKenzie
Oh yeah.
emerged as like a guy they should have been giving touches this whole time.
So yeah, don't miss Dable. There you go.
I think you're gonna. I think that's a.
Nope.
You're talking
Ken Dorsey.
yourself into it.
Ken Dorsey is going to be great.
And Joe Brady is the. Do you think Joe Brady is Ken Dorsey insurance?
Maybe not even. What do you mean by insurance?
For our listeners, Joe Brady was hired as the quarterbacks coach, which is Ken Dorsey's old role for the Bills. Ken Dorsey's been there for a while, I think throughout the whole McDermott era. By that I mean like if Ken Dorsey doesn't do well, they have an experienced play caller like on the roster.
I don't know if it's that if he doesn't do well. I think it's actually the opposite. I think Joe Brady's a great hire because if the Bills do well, all it takes is one really good season with Ken Dorsey at OC for him to potentially get head coaching offers. And if he leaves, it will be nice to have some continuity there, just like we have with Ken Dorsey being promoted.
Okay. I think simultaneously it's also like in case Ken Dorsey is like a little in over his head or something.
Yeah. It's a straddle.
Like,
if things go really bad, we got some backup.
In a way that like Matt Rule hired Ben McAdoo as like Matt Rule insurance for when Matt Rule gets fired midseason and they have like an experienced guy to be that interim head coach. Just a way to work a Matt Rule joke in there. Anyway.
All right. Last thing I want to ask is, do you play Wordle?
I wouldn't say I'm a player. I play probably like a couple days a week when I am like, I got 5 minutes. But I'm not like every day I'm logging in at 12:01 just to.
Okay, I do it every day. I did some research because that's how we do everything. Steal, slate, any anagram of that is the optimal starting word.
Is it?
It is most likely to get you the letters that will come up eventually, or just give you like
plate?
The most information to.
Like plate, the word plate?
No, with an S.
Slate. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, or steal.
I usually use similarly.
Tails.
I go with raise because you get the R and the S, and then.
Yeah.
I feel like that's good.
Well, okay, we can use other things, right? What the letters they give you on Wheel of Fortune at the end? RSTLNE. If you have as many of those as you can, that's probably a good word.
Well,
but I think A is the next most common vowel, so that's why you want E and A.
That's what, like raise, and then R and S. RST are 3 most common consonants, I believe. Yeah, maybe not in that order, whatever order it is. Although S probably doesn't matter as much in Wordle because, like, obviously S gets a lot of its use at the end of words just to make the same word plural. But Wordle doesn't really seem to use pluralized words.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I've been using tails, Eales, so that in case it is a plural word, I just know right away. But to your
I don't
point,
think
I don't know if they do that.
I don't even know if they have more, plural words. Again, I don't play it every day. I play it like two days a week whenever I remember.
We'll have to. There will be deep analytics on this for years to come.
Well, we know the analytics of like how common letters are in the English
No, but
language.
like, what does Wordle pick, right? It'll be like trying to solve like the
That's
lottery
just
ball numbers.
that's like just this guy. Well, if we can still play it for free,
True.
it's a whole other podcast. Capital.
Classic New York Times.
Uh, Crazy that they bought Wordle and The Athletic both this year. Like, just
Wow.
make your own
Making
content.
moves.
Yeah, make your own. Anyway, I think that's it. Unless there's something else you wanted to cover. Getting late. Feels like.
Closing time. No, yeah, I mean, I've just been, unfortunately, more of the same. I was hoping things would clear up by now, but they have not. I'm still just a super busy bee, which means I just don't have many new fun things going on. Just kind of grinding away.
So you don't have anything to announce regarding future you.
Mm-mm. It's all a big question mark.
The future you is current you for the foreseeable future.
Correct. But I like it this way, you know?
Dancing around things. Yeah.
A little intrigue, a little spice.
Yeah.
I love a little uncertainty. That's what we're here on this big rock for, you know? Keep things interesting.
All right. Thanks for coming on.
See ya.